So it has been a while since I sat down and talked about Solo Leveling. I've kept you guys waiting long enough because so much has happened, and the chapter that just released today was just like mind-blowing. Like, it was incredible, and obviously I can't stop myself from talking about it. And also I was kind of letting some chapters build up for I have a lot to discuss. So where to begin, honestly? I guess let's talk about Jin achieving his objective. And now, I know many of you want me to talk about what happened within the latest chapter, because it's incredible, and I will talk about it, do not worry. But I think I really do need to talk about the objective that Jin accomplished. Something that he has wanted to accomplish since the very beginning of the story. He finally achieved what he wanted to achieve, and that was healing his mother. It is something that, honestly, I didn't think would be completed at this point in time. I thought that there would have been some delays. Maybe the potion did not work in any way, and maybe he had to resort to something else, and basically he had to live with the fact that maybe even the system could not save his mother. You know, something along the lines of that. But clearly, that was not the case. His mother was healed. The question now, though, is, will there be any side effects? Because there is a lot to really take in. Number one, she is, from what we know, like one of the only individuals to really ever be cured from what she has. Basically, to go unconscious, etc. She's the only one that has ever really been cured. So because of that whole aspect, it really does make you wonder, you know, will there be a side effect? Will she go back into her slumber once again? Will she, actually show other side effects and not be who she really is? Will she be a different person? There's a lot of questions, and we don't really know where the story is going to take us at that point. But for now, though, from what we could see, Jin has created his family once again. His family is now whole. And it's really just amazing to see that after all of his effort, after everything he has done throughout his life, to all the close calls of almost death, to now where he's basically ascended amongst the S-rank hunters, he has now achieved what he's always wanted. He has money, he has people that, have faith in him, he also has basically just political gain or pull now, and he has a family that loves him and is there for him. It is honestly just an amazing moment for him, and I couldn't imagine just how happy he really is. And I do wonder, though, now that, everything has happened, with his mother, what's next for him? Because, that is the big question. It's obvious that he's probably going to be pulled into the ant raid, whatever's going to be happening on the island, but even then, though, despite that, the question still stands. With his mother being fixed, he really has no other purpose anymore. His main purpose was to get money to be able to keep his mother's hospital bills paid, and eventually he made enough money to pay them, but then he found a way to how to heal her thanks to going through the Demon Lord's entire tower. And so, now that that's been done, what's his objective? What does he want? What does he want to accomplish? Obviously, he's probably going to want to be with his family, but what's next for him? Is he going to continue to rise amongst the ranks of S-rank hunters, be the best there ever is? Will he decide to be the greatest hunter of all time and protect the entire world? What type of route will Jin go down? Which, like I said, is left to be seen. So it really does have me fascinated what's next for the story after the whole mother ordeal, and also after the ant raid. Because even though the ant raid has definitely been built up for a very long time, there's still many questions I have, like what is next for the story. Because after the ant raid, there's still questions that are uncertain, and that is the whole father situation with Jin. We don't really know what's going on with that. Then we have the situation with the S-rank hunter that's kind of upset with Jin that happened a long time ago. Then we also have the stuff going on with the system, and then the language of the monsters talking to Jin, so we don't really have everything that's kind of been explained yet. So with all these uncertainties, there is definitely more to dive into, but the question is, what is going to be the objective? What is going to be the main front and center final objective of the story, or will we not have an objective, and will we go from one scene to the next, one arc to the next to see what's going to happen? Who knows? But, yeah, I'm very happy for Jin. It was a great moment, it was a great chapter, and I'm just glad to see how, once again, his family is together, even though he realizes that he kind of distanced himself from his family to be a hunter, he now can technically be there for them. So, let's move into the next big part. The next big part we get into for the main story now is the Ant Raid and prepping up for what is about to happen. All of the S-rank hunters for Korea basically go to a training gym to be able to spar against each other, and Jin kind of senses it after he's called by, like, you know, the president or the president of, like, the Hunters Association to basically figure out what's going on. So he goes there and all that, and he's just watching the S-rank spar, and he's getting to kind of see for himself where he kind of matches up with their strength level, if he's even near them, is he above them, etc. And it's something that's kind of been up in the air since his entire completion of the Demon Castle. With him completing the Demon Castle, taking down the Demon King, you know, what is he truly capable of? Is he truly the strongest among them? Is he already the strongest hunter? Is he still nowhere near the S-class, you know, hunters? You know, there was a lot of questions, and I think these latest chapters really go to clarify now that Jin is not someone that is in the same tier as them. He is definitely, in some cases, even above them. They're actually, to them, they're basically A-classes to him. And that's just scary to think about because of just the outcome with him and Goto's fight. So let's get right into it. So, all the S-class hunters from Korea and some from Japan, like 4 from each, battle against each other to basically have a brief sparring match to also see what each individual side really has to offer to the Ant Raid. And pretty much the outcome goes to show everybody's abilities, and Korea does actually lose against Japan. But to go even further, though, after all of that's said and done, Goto wants to have a sparring match with Jin. Because Jin is a recently announced S-rank hunter, nobody really knows much about him, and he's basically been classified as a mage class hunter. But Goto automatically knew that there's something very off about that classification, because even though he's being classified as a mage hunter, for him to just give off this aura of just like an assassin-like build and just to be very strong, have such an immense presence, it just doesn't seem like he would necessarily be a mage only. There has to be more to him than what has been said. So he thinks that the classification is just a load of crap. So he wants to test it out for himself just to see where Jin is at. And obviously a very friendly sparring match turns into something much more. And it could have went really bad, honestly, if the fight was not stopped. Jin might have had to actually kill Goto, and I don't know how they would have been able to explain themselves. I mean, if Jin could kill someone like Goto, I don't think anyone really could stop him, because he pretty much killed the strongest hunter of Japan. So if Goto's basically stronger from what we could see from the Korean hunters, then there's just no way anyone could stop, you know, Jin from what he did. But even then, though, it's just the repercussions throughout society, and I don't think Jin would want to deal with it in the first place since he's very secretive to begin with. I just don't think he would want to do that. But it was very likely that that could have happened. For instance, him having to initiate and kill Goto, which could have just been all around bad. So I'm just very happy to see, though, that it did not lead to that fact. However, it did show quite a bit from the brief little fight we got within the chapter, the latest chapter that came out today. And that was, Jin was playing with Goto. There was not one given moment throughout that fight that Jin was not playing around. He was playing around. There is no doubt about that. He could have grabbed the man's wrist at any time he wanted to end the fight, which he even basically mocked the man, said, oh, you know, if I grabbed your wrist, the fight would have been over, and I don't think you would have been able to deal with that either. It wouldn't have been good for this fight. I don't think we would want to end it like that. So Jin was basically mocking him in that very moment, but also constantly taunting his attacks, basically dodging him and edging him on, and, you know, basically smiling at him. It's just, the way Jin was acting towards Goto, he was acting in a way to really just see the full extent of Goto's powers, to see how strong he is, and where he kind of is on the level at. Is he above him or below him? And it's clear now that Jin is definitely above Goto. So for him to even be in that realm, it does make me wonder, is Jin already necessarily a part of, let's say, the top 3 or even the #1 hunter of the entirety of the world? And if that is the case, once again, the question is, what's next? Because if he becomes the #1, I mean, is he going to openly declare that he's the #1? Is he going to try to save everybody throughout the entirety of the world? There's so many questions I kind of have. But, anyways, when we look at Goto's reaction at the end, it kind of speaks volumes, because you got to look at how his character kind of was, and basically how he was acting towards everybody else. You know, it's very clear that the Japanese hunters feel like they're better than the Korean hunters. It's very clear. By the way they just, you know, acted throughout these few chapters, they think they're better in every way, they're stronger, they did win. Goto believes that he's way stronger than, you know, anyone that Korea has to offer, so obviously he has this very self-entitlement, he has, like, this, very, like, I guess this aura to where he feels like he's better than everyone. He feels like he's better than everyone, and Jin basically brought him from his pedestal, down from his pedestal, and has basically told him, you're not the strongest, Korea has a stronger hunter than you. It kind of made him feel like a fool in a way, and so the reason why I think he was kind of shaken up and scared was because he realized just how, you know, he was, or how little he was in the grand scheme of things, how he was someone that wasn't relatively strong. Jin was definitely a lot stronger. I just think he had a huge wake-up call, and he realized he wasn't anything that was all unstoppable, you know, the strongest there ever was. He got beat, and he underestimated what they had to offer, and that's pretty much what happened. He just is really upset. His entire mind is shattered because of that. So yeah, that's pretty much the events of what has kind of happened within the latest chapters. There is a few other details I do want to talk about before I wrap up this video though, and that is, there is another person, a part of Japan, that has a similar problem like our main female hunter, that has like a strange smelling problem. For instance, the scent of certain hunters really make her disgusted, get, you know, headaches, or just really upset where she just wants to run away from them. She actually has someone that's very similar to her. There's someone with a gas mask on that also gets very sick from being around all these S-class hunters, which basically proves that there's more like her, that there's others out there that have this just very peculiar scent, or like they are able to smell, and they just don't know what's up with that, why, and it's really affecting them. But at the same time though, it makes you wonder, is she truly a few levels underneath the one with the gas mask, or is it because, you know, she's gotten better at being able to just hide her disgust, and she's just able to get used to it over time? There's a lot of questions too about that. And another thing too is what is Jin's decision going to be? Is he going to join the Ant Raid, or is he not? Because that is still a big cliffhanger at the end of the latest chapter. Personally, I'm going to assume he's going to join, because it just would not make sense. After everything, him kind of realizing that he is the strongest there, and that if he participated, the raid would probably go A-okay, I think he would go. And honestly, he was probably someone that would want to see what, you know, an S-rank dungeon break kind of is. Like, you'd probably want to see what's kind of going on there. I could just definitely see, you know, him wanting to find those details out. It just fits with his character, so I do think that Jin probably will accept it. He just wanted to see how everybody was before he did. But okay, I want to wrap it up there, though. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below, because for some reason, even if you click the subscribe button, you don't always get notified. So if you want to get notified, hit that bell icon. And with that, Chibi out.